What movie should Kennon watch? 1, 2, 3, 4. And action.
Welcome to What Movie Should Kennon Watch, the podcast for people who listen to podcasts. My name is Caleb, also known as Persian Monkey. With me, as always, is my co-host, Kennon Belial. Kennon, how are you doing?
I feel like a cone now, but you know.
That intro
I was doing fine right before you called me a cone.
That intro
now I'm feeling like Andrew Neiman in Whiplash, which we're going to talk about today. But first, some news.
We have some news. Wonder Woman passes 300 million at the worldwide box office. Ken, you saw it.
I did. I went and saw it at the drive-in with my family.
Spoil the whole thing in 10 seconds.
Wonder Woman's a feminist.
Is it a good movie?
It's actually not bad. We made a lot of fun of it last episode, obviously.
Like a month before it came out.
Yeah. It took me a long time to edit that because I started getting ready for the SAT, which was June 1st, dating this episode. Anyway, my mom wanted me to... I just had to listen to my mom and not to my dream of podcasting. I had to give up my dream temporarily. And
temporarily?
Yes, but now we're back. And in the last episode... I called the Wonder Woman Dr. Pepper, the Dr. Woman Wonder Pepper, which was an amazing A+ joke, if you ask me.
That was just the funniest joke. So I heard it was good. I'm like, I don't care. And Ken was like, I don't care. And then Ken texts me, he's like, I'm going to go see it. So, give a review of it.
Oh, my 10-second review, spoilers if you really want to see this movie. The second act's phenomenal. The first is meh. The third is every other superhero movie in existence. I gave it 4 stars. It's probably more like 3.5 stars. I might recommend it. But the movie we watched today, was it better? We'll find out after some more news.
We'll find out. Edgar Wright has ideas for Hot Fuzz 2. Who cares? They're ideas.
Hot Fuzz 2, isn't that already a sequel to Shaun of the Dead?
Well, there's another Hot Fuzz. There's a new Black Panther trailer. I watched the first 2 shots, and it looks good. Great.
Wow, we're just flying. Quick hot news.
New Dunkirk poster. Who cares?
Wow.
Speaking of Hot Fuzz 2, we just purchased our tickets to Baby Driver.
Yes.
We're seeing it Tuesday, June 27th, a day before it comes out, apparently. And I just realized, I'm like, oh, Tuesday. No one's going to be there. It's a weekend day. And then I realized Tuesday's the day that everything is half off. So it's going to be packed. So I'm glad we bought our tickets now. Because it's going to be packed.
Sweet.
And we bought our tickets on Fandango, so we didn't get half off. But at least we have our tickets.
But concessions are still half off, right?
Oh, yeah. So
I remember
let's get all the candy possible.
I remember Carmike for a while had like really cheap deals. AMC bought Carmike though, so do they still have those deals?
I quit before the main transition, so I don't know.
Anyway, any more news that you want to just say who cares to?
I don't want to say who cares to. Today, June 11th is the second greatest actor's birthday, Shia LaBeouf. He's 31 years old today. So everyone tweet him and wish him a happy birthday. And I bet he's watching all his films in a different language in a cinema today. So
he's probably listening to this podcast.
You know, he's like so artsy. Like he's probably the most artsy person next to God, probably. He's not quite as good as
God,
the guy from Gladiator.
I haven't seen Gladiator.
No, the greatest actor of all time. What's his name?
You
know the greatest. Russell Crowe.
Yeah, that's it.
The greatest actor of all time, Russell Crowe. But Shia LaBeouf is obviously way more artsy. All of the things he's done. Like, who would have thought watching all your movies in a row at a cinema? That's like next level crap right there.
Has he been in a Marvel movie?
I don't think so.
Okay. That's we need they got Benedict Cumberbatch, he is far less of a talented actor. And,
far less. Like, Sherlock fails in comparison to the first Transformers performance of Shia LaBeouf.
I mean, think about it. If you put Shia LaBeouf in the place of Benedict Cumberbatch in Sherlock, can't you just imagine it?
It would be way better.
It was so much better.
It would be even better than Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal in the 2009 Sherlock.
And that's already better than the real, the BBC Sherlock.
Yeah, so better than the greatest Sherlock movie of all time. So Paramount, or whoever owns Sherlock, BBC, cast Shia LaBeouf, and then after that you can cast a female for Sherlock.
Yep. But
no, Shia LaBeouf as James Bond.
Oh
Boom.
my goodness.
We just cast our new James Bond.
Caleb quit his job, but he obviously hasn't quit the business of film.
Yeah, that's all the news I got.
All right.
Great news. I know you really come to this one source for all your news.
75% of the stuff you said was who cares.
Wonder Woman cinematographer shot. Spoilers. The final scene. I don't care about
the
that
final
either.
scene's crap.
Did he shoot it against a green screen? Is that how he did it?
That wasn't that funny. I shouldn't have laughed that much.
Why are you so googly, Kennon?
I don't know. I'm trying not to be this episode. I listened back and I didn't like the giggliness of last episode. You're just being so funny, mate.
So funny, mate. All right. So the movie we watched this week, as prophesied in the in the last episode.
Caleb, I don't think that's a word.
Yes, it is. Look it up.
Okay. I'll do that later.
It's Whiplash.
Yeah, we saw Whiplash. Caleb, how many times have you seen this movie now?
This is my 4th time.
My goodness.
Yes.
That's a lot of times. Has it gotten... Wait, hold on. Has your viewing experience been betterfied by me joining you?
I think it has been betterfied. I think it's gotten better each time I watch it.
All right.
So yeah.
And thanks for listening to that was our review. Now, spoilers or non-spoilers or spoilers, there's music. And also jazz is a dying art form.
I mean, don't listen it's not like there's a big twist here. It's just a great story. I don't know.
Yeah. I also recently watched The Shawshank Redemption for the first time.
Oh, yeah, we can get into that and what movie has Kennon watched.
Yes, but in comparison to this, I would say they're both great films on similar levels because they're both great stories and the cinematography and the color and the direction all converge to tell the story. And Edgar Wright, though his stories are hilarious, his stories are not, I wouldn't call them epic. Even though they're fun, his execution is what sets him apart. The execution definitely is fantastic, but it's the story that sets the movie apart.
Absolutely, and the message.
The message.
Jazz is a dying art form, okay? A little more subtle in this movie than La La Land, but...
So what was the message of this movie compared to La La Land? Which, same director, by the way.
Same director, yeah. The message of this movie, they both have the same message, but they make you feel different ways about it.
Huh.
So in La La Land, they... all right, let's start with Whiplash. In Whiplash, he's pursuing his dreams, and you want him to succeed. And you want him to you want him to pursue his dreams and succeed as a musician. And in La La Land, it's the exact same thing, only you don't want them to succeed. You want them to get together. And when they do succeed, it is sad. But in Whiplash, it is a triumph.
That is very insightful, Caleb.
I
glad
did not come up with that, but my friend told me that. So
that's very insightful,
it's
Caleb's
true.
friend.
That's true. And that's basically the same message. I came up with that with my own brain. So
Congratulations. But yeah, the message was jazz is a dying art form, so get busy living or get busy dying.
that was like a side message. The main thing is pursue your dreams.
Yeah, even to the point of
even if it is jazz,
like even to the point of bleeding in spoilers. Anyway, spoilers. Now we're talking spoilers. This movie is phenomenal. It just has you on the edge of your seat the entire time, especially, oh my goodness, the third act. I would recommend this movie. I'm skipping around a little bit. I would recommend this movie. If I was going to recommend movies based on third acts, I would highly recommend this movie over Wonder Woman.
This has one of the best. Chris Slegman says it's one of the best finales of all time, and
I would agree.
Totally agree. It might be it's probably my top 3 favorite endings. Can't think of. No Country for Old Men would be in there, and can't think of the third one. But it's my second favorite movie as of before I watched this movie, and I'm trying. I'll get more into that when we rate it. But also, it fades to black like 25 minutes before the end. Did you think it was going to end there?
I feel like I did. I can't remember when it faded though, so I'm having trouble remembering.
He's watching on the computer. He's watching him when he's younger playing the drums, and then it's cross-cutting. No, it's not cross-cutting. It's cutting back and forth between that and him and his dad and the lady who's like the lawyer.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
I did.
And then it fades, and then he's like, "What do you want me to say?" And then it just cuts to black. And when I first watched it, I'm like, "Wow, that was an ending." And then it comes back up. I'm like, "Oh wait, it's not over yet."
Yeah, that would have been a very different message.
Yeah, but I think it would have still been a great movie even if it ended there, just not as great.
No, because the finale wouldn't have happened. Oh my gosh.
You decided to keep these flat boxes or not?
Yes, I am.
You're such a flat box, Kennon.
I really am. All right. Okay. What are some specifics we can talk about? Because currently we're only at 12 minutes.
The opening shot is the opening scene in general and the opening shot's fantastic. Remember, it was a frame within a frame in a hallway. Camera low. He's playing.
Yes.
You hear him playing, and then he stops, and then it cuts
the dolly
in.
shot.
Yeah, and then it's dollying in, and we don't know this yet, but then it's a reverse shot, and we see that the dolly was actually Fletcher walking in. Hampton Fletcher 9001.
Hampton Fletcher walked in the room and was like,
over.
"Why did you stop playing?" And then he starts playing, and then he's like, "I asked you why you stopped playing, and then you start playing again for some reason."
Also, that was great. He leaves, or he's sewing the music, and you're sewing the music, and that's all you hear. And then you hear the door shut. He looks up, and then it's a whip pan to the door, and it might be a whip pan back. And then he opens the door again, and he's like, "Oh, I forgot my coat." So it's like, maybe, oh, just kidding. There was like 5 whip pans in this, and they were great.
I was so invested in the story, I forgot to look at what was happening on camera. So, of course, what was happening on camera was brilliantly servicing what was happening in the story. My goodness.
This has some of the best cinematography I've seen, and some of the shallowest. Did you notice there's like scenes where there's like an inch in focus?
Yeah,
that would be like
I noticed
down to
when he was walking towards
something.
He was walking towards the building he was about to play at, and it was that was the first time I noticed that was like super shallow depth of field.
Yeah, on all the close-ups, it's like an inch, which is crazy. Most people don't go down that much. Those are some good prime lenses they have there.
Gutsy.
Yeah, that was crazy. And apparently, I think it was like 2 weeks they shot the movie in. And that's so many close-ups and so much to capture in that short of time.
Yeah, you told me that it was 2 weeks before we started the podcast, so my reaction would have been, what? So, what?
What? We must have skipped all the lunch breaks to do all those close-ups.
So many lunch breaks.
But that's like scheduled out, and I mean, it's not like it's a huge epic Lawrence of Arabia type movie, but still, it's impressive.
Yeah. Do you think the oh, never mind. Yeah, never mind. I was gonna say, do you think the main guy could play drums?
Probably.
It was I think there were some telling moments that maybe he couldn't play all of it, but I noticed what's J. Jonah Jameson is his name? No, that's him in Spider-Man, isn't it? J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons.
I just quoted his name from Spider-Man. I was really hoping I wouldn't do that.
He won Best Supporting Actor for this movie.
He deserved that. My goodness.
He is yelling and cursing like every second, but then there's a few times where it's just his face, and his face is telling the story, and like maybe his eyebrows move or something. I noticed that in this viewing, and it's like, wow, this is incredible.
Incredible acting.
I think this movie would, even though it's all about music, watching this film with no sound, just seeing the filmmaking aspect and like the acting aspect would be really phenomenal. I might do that the next time I watch it.
That kind of sounds like it might be fun.
I watched the first like 10 minutes of Scott Pilgrim without sound, and it is crazy how good just the editing and it's just crazy. You don't notice the things when there's sound, but then suddenly they pop out when there's no sound. Apparently they do that in film colleges. I wouldn't know. I don't go to film college.
Well, technically you do. You go to a college for film.
DMAC, the greatest college. It's like, what's this college?
It's the college for high schoolers and the high school for collegers.
No, I meant the college in Whiplash. It's a fictional college.
It starts with an S.
Stan Shaford?
Yeah, Shaford.
Almost said Stanford. I'm like, that's a real college. No, yeah, Shaford. Because if they went to like, if they're just like Harvard's the best music school, it's kind of offending a lot of people. So I'm glad they made like a. Well, I'm not glad, but they made.
Are you sure it's fake?
Yeah, I looked it up.
Oh, okay. Glad you looked something up instead of just news. I don't know what I'm saying there.
So yeah, we talked about the opening scene. The ups and downs of our main character are crazy. He goes from getting yelled at and like crying and being humiliated in front of the whole band, and then it cuts to him on a date, and then this is starting to get so you just went to the lowest of lows of the character, then you're starting to go up, and then after that he like does a really good rehearsal or something, or a good concert, and then suddenly you just break him down again.
Yeah, the finale is so. Oh, can we cut to the finale? Is there something to talk about in the middle? Oh wait, hold on. How do you feel about him not getting the girl?
Who cares? She was. I mean, that wasn't the point of the movie at all. She was just. Why was she in the story? To show he was a human and to show that some people don't have it figured out. I like there's so much contrast in this movie between him and the girl, and then like the lows and the highs, just like in music, the dynamic range. Like one of my favorite parts is when Hampton's talking to the little like 5-year-old. It's like, one day when you're in college, you can play in my band, and then the little girl's like, yeah, and then he immediately walks and then they high five and he's like, good to see you, and they hug. And then he comes in and immediately starts cussing at everyone. It's so great. Just the contrast between like a 5-year-old and now you're in college and you have your professor cussing at you.
If only that was the worst of it.
Apparently, Damien Chazelle, the director, based this off real life experiences. So he probably dramatized them a little bit.
So he got into a car wreck and then jumped out.
Oh, the car wreck.
Ah.
That just comes out of nowhere. and it's brilliantly edited. So he's in the driver's seat, and it's just the camera's in the passenger seat, just shooting right at him, and then he's on the phone. He throws the phone down. Actually, no, the camera is not in the passenger seat. It's a little bit further, but it's kind of zoomed in. So you see him. It's kind of like a medium shot, and then he's on the phone. He throws it down. It goes down to the passenger seat, and at that motion of it going down, it cuts, but you don't know it cuts. And then as it comes up, it's green screen, and then he gets hit by a car.
I didn't notice it was green screen.
I didn't know. You don't notice it until you actually know where the cut is and you're looking for it. Well, they didn't actually put him in a car crash.
No.
But it's brilliant because the camera goes down and it comes back up, and it's like, boom. Crazy good.
Yeah, I kind of expected he was going to get in a car crash.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just because he was driving, not paying attention. He was speeding. He was mad on the phone.
I thought it came out of nowhere.
Away, and then I was like, he's going to get into a car crash. And then it was the truck that surprised me. It was like this giant truck. I'm like, oh my gosh.
It just filled the whole window. Just...
Yeah, this movie's incredible. Can we talk about the finale?
The finale, yes, and then I'll figure out more things to talk about in the middle. Yeah, it's just... Oh, yeah, so he's... I'm talking a lot in this. So he goes to the jazz club and sees that Fletcher's there, or he walks by and sees that Fletcher's there.
Yeah.
And then,
the one thing I wanted to say, J.K. Simmons, I think he actually played the piano part.
He looked like he was playing.
Yeah, because some of the other parts are like, but that one was surprising.
Also, sometimes the 24, I'm assuming this was shot in 24, except for the slow-mo stuff. The 24 FPS is not fast enough to capture the drumming, so you can it looks a little bit off, but I think they tried to do it their best. And then obviously during the finale it was sped up a lot and then slowed down a lot, so it's completely off from what you're hearing. But I think they were still playing that actually. There's a lot of close-ups in this movie.
Oh my goodness, the finale is just when he gets on stage. I almost knew it was too good to be true. Like, what kind of movie has it like the J.K. Simmons or Hampton Fletcher was acting way too nice.
Yeah, so I love the part where they go up on stage. So Fletcher just invited him to be part of this band. So they go up on stage and Fletcher just said, if you screw up, these people will never forgive you and you should find a different career. So they go up on stage, and then Fletcher's like, you think I'm stupid? I know it was you. And just that moment between that and him starting to play the song that Neiman doesn't know just is like so suspenseful, because you don't know what's going to happen. Like, what does this mean for the story? What's going to happen? It's like, he knows, so what's happening? Oh my gosh. And then your heart just starts pounding, and then suddenly the music starts, so it's pounding even more.
Oh my gosh. And you think, oh my gosh, he does terrible, obviously. And you think, oh man, it's all over.
And Fletcher won, and then now he's leaving. Oh my gosh.
But then you actually see that for the first time, he's not going to let Fletcher control him. And he goes and controls Fletcher, so that actually Fletcher has to conduct. He actually stops being the leader. He has no control over the situation. The person who's supposed to have control over the situation has now lost control.
I love how Andrew's just like, well, I screwed up, so I'm just going to make this my demo reel for all these people watching. I'm just going to start playing great music.
Yeah, and it's so good. And then that moment when Fletcher fixes the cymbal for him, you're like, oh.
Like, oh, he just found his Charlie Parker.
Oh, and then they learn to work together with no words. With no words, he cues him, but oh man.
Oh, another thing with no words, you know that he likes the girl at the theater. Like, you just said, oh, I bet he likes her. And that's no words. All it is I think that was that No, the first time they meet, there's there's a lot of close-ups, and then the second time when he asks her out, it's just a wide double, just slowly dollying in.
Yeah, that was one of the slowest dollies I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, this has some so good cinematography. Some of my favorite. And this movie is better than La La Land. Okay.
Whoa, just dropping that bomb out of nowhere.
I don't care if you think if La La Land makes you feel super high like it does most people. That's great, but this movie is better. Maybe it doesn't make you feel as high, but this movie makes your heart pound more, and it's better made in almost every aspect.
I've only seen both once, so I can't argue with you. So
they're
La La
both
Land,
they're
La
both
La-
5-star movies.
La La Land is on your favorites list, so don't get him wrong. He doesn't He doesn't not like the movie.
Yeah, it's in my top 5 as of now.
Trying to remember a lot of stuff about that movie. It definitely wasn't as soul-wrenching as this movie was. There was a lot of great character moments in La La Land, but this movie is fast-paced. It goes by so fast. It goes by at like 330 beats per measure, double time swing.
Okay, it's 105 minutes.
105 minutes. So that's
An
hour and 45 minutes.
But it feels like really fast. It just goes right by.
I think you were mentioning when it was going to be over. No, I felt it was going to be over. Like when he lost the girl, I thought, is it over? This is usually the stuff that happens at the end.
Oh, another great thing is when he's talking to the girl and telling them that they're going to break up, the camera moves. The camera starts on over the shoulder of him, and it just slowly moves to a close-up of her, and then the reverse shot just slowly moves away from him. So it's visually telling the audience that they're moving further away. I thought that was great. You probably didn't notice it since it was your first time.
I was noticing the story. See, with non-static shots, it further moves you in, but then you don't notice the non-static shots. The shots where nothing is happening with the camera. Well, unless it depends. It depends on the scene, but if nothing's happening and there's nothing happening with the camera, it's easier to see than if, say, there's subtle movement.
Mm-hmm.
But the subtle movement you would think is the thing that would stand out. I gotta see this movie again.
When so they right before they go on like their first big show, Fletcher's like, if you lose your music, I will not be so forgiving. And then like a guy walks up behind him, he's like, get out of my face before I demolish you.
Wait, which part was that?
That was right before Neiman loses the music. You remember that?
I'm sorry, I don't.
Fletcher's talking to all the people. That part's hilarious.
Oh, when he says that, like, I better not find another folder lying around.
Yeah.
And then he loses the folder.
Yeah, but I love when there's just a random guy walking away. He's like, get out of my face before I demolish you. He says some other stuff, but it's hilarious.
Oh, that guy. Oh.
It's like there's just a random guy.
He says, if I find another one of these folders lying around, I will not be so polite. And then he's like, get out of my face.
I love how he uses the word. He uses demolish. It's like, I'm just going to demolish you. And then so the Neiman goes, or the main drummer gives him the folder of the music. So Neiman goes, gets a can of pop, puts the folder down on a chair right next to the pop machine, or behind the pop machine. And then looks away for like probably a minute or something. In real time, not movie time. And then comes back and the folder's gone. And it was Fletcher, probably. It was most definitely Fletcher.
Implications.
Yeah, it's so subtle because the guy's like, the main drummer, he's like, I have a thing where I can't remember music. You know this. it's like, oh, so that's telling the audience that Fletcher already knew this, and because if it just was taken away and it wasn't Fletcher, that would have been dumb. It just would have been a dumb story trick to get Neiman to play. But since it was another character doing it to Neiman, it wasn't dumb. Because there's motivation in that.
Yeah. So it's not just that things happen to the character by chance and that's how he got his career. It's somebody was shaping him.
Yeah.
And this has so many subtle themes.
Also, remember the third drummer?
The happy guy?
Yeah, the guy who's always smiling. he comes in and it was like, am I here? And then, or did I come at the right time? What does he say? Anyway, Fletcher's like, oh, perfect timing. Perfect hanging the lantern over his perfect timing just by saying it. By saying what was happening. Because it's like perfect timing. It's like, oh, perfect timing.
I get it. Because music.
Where was I going with that? Oh, no, I forgot. That was great when the three drummers were going around and playing. And then he's like,
until 2 a.m.
You were in the part.
Wow.
Do you have anything else to say?
I think I want to wrap it up. This movie, do we want to give our ratings?
Wait, I have one more thing to say. I just forgot it. What was it? Oh yeah. After that part, Newman's like, "Are you kidding me?" And then Fletcher gets a phone call, goes into his office, and then Neiman follows him, and then Fletcher's like, "Now is not the time." And that's the point when Fletcher finds out that the one guy committed suicide.
Yeah.
And then he lies to the class and says he got into a car accident. We're supposed to call them car collisions because accident implies that no one's to blame. A little Hot Fuzz reference there. You should go watch that movie too.
If you're watching Hot Fuzz, you're watching Whiplash too, because they're both rated R.
And they're both 16 out of 16 movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
This movie's perfect.
I
can say it.
I think I could. Like, there's this one guy in Letterboxd who rates everything out of 100, and then he rates like select movies 120. This might be a 17 out of 16 movie.
It's phenomenal. I can't point out a point in this movie where things were dull or things were poorly done. In fact, the finale went so above and beyond that I can't help but love this movie.
The one thing people point out, which I think is, there's like the car rental. It's like, oh, he rented a car so fast, and they had a car, and it's like, who cares? The only thing
that's something people point out.
That's like a flaw. That's one of the only flaws that people bring.
That's a flaw.
And then
who cares?
The one thing I thought
maybe this is an alternate universe.
Was it closing when he first got there? He's like, "Come on, you're still open." Then he goes to the place, and Fletcher's like, "Get your sticks," and he goes back, and it's still open. That's the only other thing, but who cares about that either?
Because only about 20 minutes have passed since that point, though. If you think.
Yeah, but if they were closing right as he was knocking the first time. Well, let's just say a janitor was there and the door's unlocked, okay?
Maybe he broke in.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Anyway, I rate this a 16 out of 16. If I could, I would break this system and do 17 out of 16.
I would. Oh yeah, definitely 16 out of 16 for me too.
This is the closest I've ever been to peeing my pants outside of a horror movie.
How many horror movies have you seen?
3.
They
weren't that good.
Some parts in Insidious were pretty good.
Some parts.
Like the ending is great. The last shot is amazing, I would say.
I don't know.
That's probably the best part of the movie.
It just wasn't that scary. It didn't accomplish its purpose.
We gotta watch a really scary movie.
Yeah, we got to. Poltergeist was the worst one so far.
Oh no. That's not a good movie, okay?
Was it even that bad? Was it that bad? It has 86 Rotten Tomatoes.
Dude, Rotten Tomatoes is stupid. Like, Indiana Jones 4 has like 70 something.
It does?
Yeah.
I would think that's like 40. That's like a 40% movie.
And then there's like movies like Passion of Christ and The Notebook, which are great movies that are like really low. So.
Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes.
And they rated like Doctor Strange 92%. But that's like Weekly Planet explained it in their last episode. It's like if you rated a 60 or above on a 1 to 100 scale, you're gonna give it a fresh. So
exactly.
If
so
it's
not an average of all of their scores. If you want that, go to IMDb. If you want they average it to, if it's above 50% for you, it's a fresh, and then they count all that. So, Doctor Strange might have got 92%, 60%.
Yeah, because that's not a bad movie, but it's not like a 92% movie.
No, it's not. It's, I don't know. We're not talking about Doctor Strange here. But before, we used to, did we, or it was just me that used to think a lot of Rotten Tomatoes?
I think we both used to. Now I just don't even care.
We still avoid reviews in general just because reviews kind of give you an expectation. So
yeah, I don't try to watch any trailers. I watch a trailer until I'm excited for the movie, which in Black Panther's case was 2 shots.
That's great.
And then I don't watch any reviews or try to look at the critics score if I know I'm going to see a movie. But if I don't know anything about a movie, then the review sometimes gets me to want to watch it.
That's true.
Like Baby Driver, I saw the critic score like a long time ago, and there's like 10 people reviewed it, and then I haven't seen any. I saw the Chris Stuckman thumbnail, and one person I followed on Letterboxd rated it 5 stars, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's good though. You haven't seen much. Yeah, I don't even watch trailers anymore. I saw that the Black Panther trailer
we walked out when we were watching what movie were we watching? Oh, Guardians 2, we walked out when the Spider-Man trailer was playing.
I still haven't seen it. People complained about that trailer a lot. I saw that. I didn't even see the first trailer.
I saw the first trailer, but it didn't really spoil anything.
Yeah.
It didn't have any of the villain in it, I don't think.
The point was, though, that I didn't want to know anything about the movie because trailers are terrible now. Anyway, this movie gets 16 out of 16.
Is this a better movie than Scott Pilgrim vs. the World? Because that is the only thing blocking it from being my favorite movie.
I have to see Scott Pilgrim again.
I think...
Is the ending of Scott Pilgrim... The ending of Scott Pilgrim, weren't you saying that it kind of
is stupid. Leading... It's dumb, yeah. The very end is dumb.
Wow. And
I think of Scott Pilgrim with the true ending, like the original ending, where they don't end up together and he ends up with knives.
Yeah, that's...
Because it leads up to that and then just suddenly turns left and goes a completely different direction on like the last couple shots.
That's what the movie people thought too, and then the writer of the original comic book said that it was the other way, right? And then they're like, oh, I guess we have to reshoot it.
No, the audience... See, because Scott Pilgrim, you have to watch it a whole bunch of times to really get it, in my opinion, because I notice something new every time. So if you watch it once, the original ending makes sense. But if you watch it multiple times and really understand the essence of the story, it doesn't make any sense at all. So I think the test audiences who just watched it once, I assume, didn't get it. So they were like, "Oh, okay, make it."
How did the graphic novels end?
They get together, but they're a lot. Ramona is actually a good person in the graphic novels. In the movie, she's just like a horrible person, basically. They're very different characters.
Anyway, you should go watch Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and also watch Whiplash.
Okay, I am debating whether Whiplash is my favorite movie. Okay, it is extremely hard because I didn't know last time I saw La La Land. I didn't know if La La Land was better than Whiplash. Now I can say definitively that Whiplash is better than La La Land, and I don't know if it's my favorite movie though.
We have to decide before this episode's over. Also,
okay,
we're about
Shawshank Redemption at
we're
number
at
3.
39 minutes, so we should probably switch after we decide if this is your favorite.
Yeah. Okay, Shawshank is number 3.
Wow.
Inception's number 4, La La Land's number 3, and if you want to see the rest, follow me on Letterboxd, and I'll send you I'll send you this link.
Go follow Caleb Stevens.
Aliens in the Attic is number 23.
I said Letterboxd. Oh,
Letterboxd.
Yeah, Aliens in the Attic. That's one of the few movies where we have like a vastly different rating.
It's so good.
You can't even keep a straight face when you say that. I mean, it's good. It's got good parts, but it reeks of Disney.
It reeks of badness.
It's not this. Okay. Maybe once I watch it 5 more times, like this movie, I'll think it's the greatest movie of all time. Mr. 4.5 stars on Aliens in the Attic. You're one of the very few people who thinks that movie's good.
I'm one of the 7 people who rated it 4.5 stars.
What? Oh my gosh!
But there's 20 people who rated it 5 stars.
But
so.
you're actually serious about it. That's the thing. Oh man, I just checked the levels. I think I spiked a little bit.
Okay, so overall, Whiplash never has a dull moment.
Definitely.
Unlike Scott Pilgrim, that has at least one dull moment.
And one minor failed ending.
Minor.
I need to see that movie again. I own it. Just give it your all. Say it's your favorite movie.
Okay, Whiplash has one of the greatest endings of all time, unlike Scott Pilgrim. So, Whiplash is my new all-time favorite movie.
Oh my goodness! I convinced him. I convinced him, not his own will. I am the J.K. Simmons of his life.
Oh my gosh. That was one of the greatest decisions I've made in my life.
One more thing. Now that we've rated the movie, this movie has a very yellow tone.
Yellow and green, and sometimes blue.
It's so yellow.
But it's mainly yellow.
Is it because of the trumpets?
It's just that was just the style, and it works.
Yeah, I'm not complaining. I mean, it matches the brass. Getting down to brass tacks.
Brass tacks.
All right, we should go to what movie has Kennon watched?
Yes. Wait. We have a few more. Let's go to.
Should that come later?
Yeah, let's do the David, whatever his name is.
David Valknet.
If he doesn't have a freaking review of Whiplash, what is he doing with his life?
Hold on, let's go to David Valknet.
I'm following him, right?
I spelled his name terribly wrong. Valknet. Members.
Following.
I spelled it wrong.
David Valknet. Wow. He has not seen Whiplash.
What? He's seen Shawshank, though, right?
Yeah, well, we can do that. We get that into... I guess we can just read his reviews for the movies Kennon has watched. What classic... Should we do what classic movie did Clayton watch this week that we didn't? Since the last episode, which was on May 24th, I didn't see... I watched Prometheus after that. Wow. So May 24th. Oh, wow. He watched Bambi Meets Godzilla, All About Eve, Bringing Up Baby, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, Rear Window, The Wind Rises, Back to the Future, Captain America Civil War, On the Waterfront, and How the West Was Won.
Like, only 2 of those movies are not classics. What? Okay, wait. Captain America Civil War is not a classic.
And The Wind Rises is probably not a classic.
I might argue that's a classic, but
that came out in
every single other one of those is a classic. That's a lot of classics.
Yeah, On the Waterfront is apparently amazing. Haven't seen it. How the West Was Won. I loaned it to him, but I haven't seen it. Back to the Future. Okay, Back to the Future is good, but it is not above a 4-star movie. Okay, Houston One Productions. It's not. It's way overrated. There, I said it. I never have to say it again. Rear Windows.
Did you review Shawshank Redemption?
No, because I saw it like a long time ago.
Okay.
Like a long time ago, like a year ago. Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. Clayton said that was good. Is Dirty Rotten Scoundrels good? I haven't seen it.
I think my parents fast forwarded a scene when I was younger, but I saw it and it was pretty good. It's better than What About Bob, and it's I think by the same guy.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
It's got a similar feel, and Dirty Rotten Scoundrels is better.
Have you seen Rear Window?
Yes, but it's been a long time, so I don't remember it.
That's good. It's not as good as Vertigo, but it's still really good. Yeah. So that was what classic movie did Clayton watch that we didn't? What other segments are there? What movie has Kennon watched?
Yeah. I saw Shawshank Redemption. Is David Valknet before or after?
We can just do that right now, just during. Like, we can read every review for the movies we're talking about.
Okay. I did not find a review of Shawshank Redemption by David Valconet, but he rated it 3 stars.
Oh my gosh.
He rated Shawshank Redemption 3 stars.
Is that a? Would you rate it 16 out of 16?
Me?
Yeah.
I haven't thought about the 16 out of 16. I think so because there's no bad parts in it whatsoever.
16 out of 16.
You can't take a scene out of that movie. I stole that line from you, but
Okay, I stole that from someone I worked at with the movie theater.
Sweet.
So if you can't take a shot out of a movie or a scene, then it's a masterpiece. Apparently.
I've seen a lot of masterpieces then.
Like Whiplash, the only thing I can think of is the beginning when it's like showing all the close-ups of like buildings and stuff, but still that brings you into the world. So
Yeah.
I'm arguing that all those shots are 100% necessary.
Yeah. I have to see Singing in the Rain again. Oh, I saw Singing in the Rain this week.
Do you want to go me and do one and then you do one? 'Cause
Yes.
now you're just stealing the whole show now. I'm just kidding.
Wait, this show is about me, isn't it? I'm in the title. It's my show.
Okay, so after I've seen a lot of movies since then. So I saw Prometheus, which is 110% one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Okay, I rated it 0.5 star. It's so stupid and it's like unbelievably bad. This story is one of the worst pieces of crap you've ever seen. It's
You
definitely
hate that movie. Okay.
It's 1 out of 16 for sure. 110%. 1 out of 16. It's one of my least favorite movies. And I am in the minority because most people rated it 3 stars, so fine.
Wait, hold on. Can I see if David Valconet has reviewed
Oh yeah,
this?
let me while you're looking for that, it's the only Alien movie we own on Blu-ray for some reason. It doesn't have a story. I'm reading my review.
Oh my gosh, yes!
Let me finish. The scene, just look up, it's on Vimeo, just look up the part in Prometheus where they run away from the spaceship. Oh my gosh. It is like so it's the stupidest thing. So there's this huge spaceship, just having your water bottle and then picture it falling and then move your hand down it like in the direction it's falling. You realize that if you walk that direction, it's going to take you a really long time to get out of the falling distance, but if you walk to either side, it's going to take you like a second. And this is the spaceship falling over, and they like run, and it is the stupidest thing ever. And then one of them gets smushed, and then the other one, like right as it's getting ready to fall on them, they switch and they move the other direction. It's like, why don't you do that before? And then there's like this. So Alien opens with like, if you haven't seen Alien, this isn't really a spoiler. There's like an alien spaceship that they go see. This is the spaceship that's falling, and then it's stranded on a planet, and then and then they go off with a different spaceship, and then there's like this alien it's not quite an alien. One of the last shots is like this kind of alien that kind of looks like an alien, but it's still not the alien, and then it ends. So that brings up the question: how did this? Because it's a different planet. How did this ship suddenly transport to a different planet? And then how did aliens get on that? And then how did the original team find out about that and go to that? It's like, what the heck?
Can I guess what? David Valconet has seen Prometheus.
Oh, okay.
4.5 stars.
Oh, yes!
Ready for this?
Okay, I'm ready. I'm gonna see if I can defend my 0.5 star.
Okay. David Valconet. Oh, hey, look, he's in the room with us. He's gonna read the review for us.
Hey, David.
First, watch on the small screen, and the film really does hold up. Slightly removed from the overwhelming spectacular of the first 2 watches in the theater really reveals how well Prometheus does actually work. I watched this with the commentary of the writers Damien Lindelof and John
Let me stop you there. The story is complete garbage, okay? The script is so stupid. Like, okay, there's a scene at the beginning, just, you know, if you can remove a shot, remove it, because if it's not helping your story at all. There's just a robot, and he's a human robot, so he looks like a human. He's just walking around the spaceship, and then suddenly he's playing basketball, and it's probably like a 30-second minute scene of him playing basketball. I'm like, okay, they're setting up this location. There's a basketball scene in this spaceship. We just wasted 30 we just had 30 seconds setting this thing up. I'm sure it's going to be important later in the movie. Never comes back to it. There's just 30 seconds of him playing basketball for no reason. No reason whatsoever.
Okay, hold on. You watched it with
That's
the commentary.
good storytelling.
Which, while didn't really add too much to the information plot-wise that I hadn't picked up from the film itself, they do clear up some of the intentions behind the character motivations. Wow, you really know you're watching a good movie when you find out it's a good movie from the commentary.
Well, the scientist... Okay, so I'm assuming you have to be smart to go into space. So there's this part where there's like this alien thing, and it's like this snake, and you can tell it has a mouth on it. So what would you do? And you don't know if this thing is like good or bad or it's gonna eat you. What would you do in this situation, Kennon?
Run away.
That's probably what I would do too. What is it? What do you think the scientist does?
He reaches out and grabs it and dies.
He reaches out and grabs it. It like grabs him, wraps around his arm, and just like completely. It's really gross scene. It like just wraps around his arm, and then it comes into his helmet and like kills him. Really gross and graphic, and then it kills the other guy too because he's an idiot. He like falls into this lake or falls into this water thing. It's so stupid. Scientists are dumb.
Continuing with this, beyond that, it was interesting to hear them reflect on the film before its release, speculate on how it will be received, and kind of predict the criticism and try to defuse it. Thematically, the film holds up for me, but really that's just the foundation of what is primarily a stylish, exciting, and adventurous body horror thriller. These are my original thoughts on the film in top 5 form. 5. It ties to the Alien franchise.
Okay, so this movie has nothing to do with the Alien franchise until the final scene. And even then, it doesn't make sense whatsoever. So this obviously they obviously made it for a sequel to tie it together, which I don't know if the sequel does, and I don't really want to see the sequel. But and apparently that leaves it for a sequel. So I don't know how many sequels they're gonna make till they tie it all together. But stupid. It does not.
Prometheus strikes the perfect balance between prequel and standalone film.
Okay, well, another thing, they go to a planet. And I'm like, oh, they're already to a planet? Man, this movie, this is when I still had a little bit of hope. Not much, but a little bit. And then I'm like, well, maybe if they're already to a planet, I mean, there's like another hour and a half of the movie left. They're gonna do a lot. No, they stay in this one spot on the planet the entire movie. The entire movie. And then the captain's like, oh, this alien ship's gonna go up. I'm gonna sacrifice myself and kill it. And then so they run the their ship into the alien ship. And there's 2 co-pilots. He's like, you guys should go. And they're like, no, we're gonna stay. No reason. They could leave. And so they all just go into the ship and explode.
Okay, I'm gonna just preface this. We're not even halfway through this review. There's like 5 paragraphs or more.
I don't know if I have very much more to say. But...
Okay. 4. I'm just gonna skip the rest of this paragraph. 4. Pre-title credit scene. This stands alone as a great short film.
Okay. I will say the opening shots are really good. But then it gets like this alien who, I looked it up, he is Jesus for some reason. It's really stupid. The alien is Jesus, and they're like the creatures are a god. And it doesn't really, there's like this message of like what is life, and the robot can't feel life. And it's done horribly, like really stupid. Like the alien's just like, I can't feel life because I'm a robot. Oh, it's like, oh, I'm a robot. And so the first couple shots are really beautiful and like wide landscape shots of an alien planet. But then you go, they're not really doing anything for the story. And then you get to like Jesus, who's an alien for some reason, dying, sacrificing. Like he drinks this thing. He's like, oh, I'm dying, and then he falls off a cliff, and it's like, that's Jesus sacrificing himself, apparently, which is really stupid. So it doesn't really serve the story, so what's the point? But I will say that's the best part of the movie, the opening shots.
Number 3, body horror. Many of the scenes of horror were felt similar to stuff like The Thing, Society, Leviathan.
I disagree.
Or a David Cronenberg film. The idea of the threat coming from within you is a very visceral and real fear. With all the new flaws and diseases we're constantly told
Skip to the next
about.
paragraph. It's nowhere near as good as The Thing.
Number 2, main musical theme. Very reminiscent of Star Trek, Superman the movie, and early 50s sci-fi. The main theme really lends the film an intellectual and exploratory atmosphere, a sense of awe and wonder of the universe and man's place within it. Man's is in quotes.
All right, I have the first thing on the soundtrack.
We're getting
It's
vulgar
fine. It's
copyright.
fine. It's fine. It's.
We are
Would you
getting
hum
sued.
this?
Ba-da-da-da.
Okay, now hum it.
Da-da-da-da.
It's not very memorable. I mean,
okay.
It's not garbage.
It depends
just,
on how
just
it's used
fine.
in the film.
Did I say something about the soundtrack or something? I don't. Keep reading.
Okay. Number 1. Spacesuits and dune buggies. Coming straight out of the Planet of the Vampires and Planets of Burr? Okay. The style and design of the spacesuits and dune buggies, and to a lesser extent the ship, is wonderful. Influenced by 60s, 70s, and 80s sci-fi, while still feeling modern and lived in. Blah, 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 blah. All films, blah, 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 blah. I don't care anymore. 4.5 stars.
Hey, I'll give you the Blu-ray. I don't want to own that thing anymore. You can have it. I don't know why we own it, but we do. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, there's so many points in the movie, just like the basketball scene, where there's no point in it being there. They could have cut like an hour out of the movie just pointless stuff that just makes no sense.
So that was one movie that Caleb watched.
You want to go next?
I kind of mentioned Shawshank. Shawshank was really good. I don't have much else to say about it except for everything in it. I can't take anything out of that movie. You can't take a scene out of that. But I also saw Singing in the Rain, which is phenomenal. I was tempted to rate it 4.5 stars just because there's this one scene. I'm a sinner because I wanted to rate it 4.5 stars.
Is that on my list? It's a sin to rate these movies not 5 stars.
I rated it 5 stars still, just because there's this one scene that it's this entire dance scene that's great, but it just seems thrown in, and I need somebody to explain it to me why it's not, because I think Val Knet gave this also 5 stars, but he was like, this entire thing, each dance scene is an emotional representation of what the character is going through, which I don't know. Maybe I need to rewatch this movie too.
I just remember thinking it was one of the greatest movies.
See, I've only seen Shawshank Redemption once, Singing in the Rain once,
Same.
Whiplash once, La La Land once, and I've seen The Ridiculous Six twice.
What, really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy. I also saw Howl's Moving Castle, Hayao Miyazaki's worst movie in my opinion. 3 stars.
I saw it too. I might have given it 3.5. I don't know. It was before I had a letterbox. I was expecting more because it was Miyazaki, and it felt really good to watch, but I hated the ending message.
It's just kind of meaty. The story he wrote it with someone else apparently, according to Letterboxd, so that probably added to it. I didn't like how the main guy was just every anime character ever. Everything about it was just kind of mediocre.
David Val Knet gave it 3 stars.
Did he have a review?
No.
I also watched Cool Hand Luke, which was good. I can see why they play it in like film school and stuff, because like it has every single thing in it. Like, oh, here's a dolly. Oh, here's a J cut. Oh, here is insert. Oh, here's a close up. Oh, here's extreme close up. Oh, here's a wide shot. Oh, here's medium. Oh, here's all the other things.
I feel like it's Shawshank Redemption, but Shawshank Redemption's better.
I didn't see any similarities really.
A guy goes to prison, makes the prison better, and then escapes. One dies, the other one doesn't. It's the same
but
basis.
Cool Hand Luke isn't great. Like it's just fine. And
I know. I'm saying
you could
Shawshank.
remove some scenes from
I'm
it.
saying Shawshank is better, but they follow similar plot lines. Like the guy gets there, he's beat up. Then, like as time goes on, people love him in the prison, and he makes the prison a better place.
Yeah, there was some points in Cool Hand where I was just a little bit bored, but
I could see that.
Shawshank, Absolutely not. Did you see my review, my spoiler-filled review? It's just this smiley face emoji, and I put spoiler tag on it. If you don't know the ending of the movie, then you won't get that. And then someone's commented a 5-star review.
Wait. What is the ending?
It's like some narration is like, Cool Hand Luke had the best smile, and it just shows all these shots of him smiling or something.
Oh, I don't remember that.
I also saw Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders again. It was pretty good. It's a Scooby-Doo movie. The Benchwarmers. Okay, someone suggested let's watch The Benchwarmers. Like, oh, I've heard of that movie. I've heard of that movie.
Me telling you how bad it was.
I didn't remember it was like a crap movie. And then my review's pretty funny. It's like watching Edgar Wright movies, watching comedy movies not directed by Edgar Wright is just sad.
I think I said a full star, and you were like, "Do you want to say why you rated it a full star?"
Because I laughed once.
No, because you said Prometheus was worse.
Oh yeah, because it's better than Prometheus. Yeah, it is. I'd say it's better in every aspect. Even though Prometheus has like some of the best CGI ever. The Third Man, really good noir. I don't feel at home in this world. It's good. Watch it if you want. Bronson, it's horrible. Don't watch it. 500 Days of Summer. We watched that again. We should talk about that.
Oh yeah. That was a movie. Hold on. I want to see if Bronson if Val Knet gave it 4 stars.
It's just it has no message. That's another reason he doesn't have a review. Well, I am an outlier because it's a 3.7 movie.
Let's see if he's seen 500 Days of Summer. He has not.
Is 500 Days after we just watched 2 16 out of 16 movies?
You give it 15 out of 16.
500 Days of Summer?
Yeah.
Since when did I do that?
When we were sitting. When we watched it.
Oh, I don't remember that. Okay, yeah. It's not as good as Whiplash, and it's not as good as Shawshank, so...
No, though it is still a beautifully crafted film.
It's still great. I saw Ponyo, which is great. The Godfather, I finally saw that.
We've seen so many movies since it's been so long since we recorded.
Last
time we were like, what movies have we seen? Because we recorded it a week after the last one.
Yeah, there was like 3 of them.
Yeah, but it's been a month since we recorded our last episode.
Yeah, I originally rated it 4.5, and I kept thinking about it. And I listened to the soundtrack. I'm like, okay, it's a 5-star movie. It's not technically it's flawed, but story wise and script wise, it's perfect. So, Saw the Wind Rises, great. Godfather Part 2, great. Godfather Part 3, it's a meh movie. It has some good moments, but Godfather Part 2 just has the perfect ending, so I don't know why they needed to make another one. Godfather Part 1 has also a perfect ending, but...
I'll have to see those movies. Anyway, what's our next segment?
I've got 2 movies still. Okay?
We're running... Okay,
I watched Annie Hall. It's great. Okay, great. Apocalypse Now. It is a 16 out of 16 movie, probably. It is fantastic. People say Full Metal Jacket's the best war movie. They're wrong. It's Apocalypse Now. Okay, I'm done.
Okay. I could have just let you go. I'm sorry. What's our next segment?
What is our next segment? Oh, what movies should Kennon watch?
And so we did classic movie. We did... Oh, how many followers does Carpenter Jake have?
Oh, yeah. Should we just get rid of this segment?
No.
Okay, Carpenter Jake has 3 followers.
Did somebody follow him?
No. Okay, so how many people listen to this podcast on Letterboxd? Like, at least 2. So there should be... I expect him to have 5 followers by next episode.
Guys, if you're listening to this podcast... Go follow Carpenter Jake.
Just go to, if you can't find him, go to mine, and then go to following and Carpenter Jake. He doesn't have a profile, and his favorite movie is Spider-Man. There you go. He doesn't have a profile picture, that's what I meant to say.
Anyway, are we done? What movie should Kennon watch?
That's the question. All right, so we want to watch...
After a long debate that you either have or have not heard at this point, depending on how lazy I feel.
There are no clean getaways.
We're gonna watch No Country for Old Men.
directed by Joel and Ethan Coen.
That's going to be our next episode. So thank you for listening to... do you want to close this out, or should I close this out?
You can close this out. I've talked enough in this episode.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to What Movie Should Kennon Watch? This episode has been sponsored by Wonder Woman
Banana
Dr.
bread.
Pepper. Oh.
And Folgers coffee.
Those, I don't know how they feel about being in this episode, but either way, thank
Go
you
drink Folgers coffee, please.
And drink it while you're watching Whiplash. And we'll be back next week or next whenever with No Country for Old Men. All right. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.